There you go.
Okay, this is P&R Show, Season 1, Episode 17. Play with your brew on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 2014.
I'd rather have lager than life. I'll take a strong stout over Sprite.
What's he doing? What are you doing?
Find a little and put it on. I fill my private box without liquor is too uphill. So drink me lager for life. I'd rather have.
We'd like to thank Keith for that journey through the dryer.
Oh, I forgot to mute, didn't I?
Yeah,
Damn it.
it's all right. It's par for the course. All right, what beer to quaff? I started thinking what ale would quell my need for drinking. The shelves were stocked with lager and stouts and suds I'd never tried before. To the web I chose to seek for a podcast where every week men come together to chum and chat on beer and inanity galore. Success to the heavens, I cried. The beer paradise where I could die happy and content with great Elon. Elon, I couldn't ask for more. To Keith, Jeremy, Rob, and Gary, the Pint of No Return show, they carry one and all to heights of bliss of beer and ale, and those four. So now to P&R we go, an incredible place, incredible show, the jump and jive of suds and blondes. The P&R show is here. Let's drink and pour.
Wow.
That was impressive.
Last minute. He comes up with these in the last 5 minutes, folks.
I know, that's pretty good. It's
And
good
I
stuff,
never
actually.
learned how to read. So there you go.
And there's somebody else with us, too.
Yes, we are the Pint of No Return show, and as Keith mentioned so eloquently earlier, this is episode 17, and 17 is a special one. And we have a guest here with us this evening. We've got Patrick, and I believe the last name is McGowan. Patrick, is that right?
You got it. That's right.
Patrick from the BrewSalt company. Now, before we get into it with Patrick a little bit, just some background for us. A few weeks ago, in our picks segment, I believe was it Keith actually had for his pick a company that makes some salt for your beer, and we and the next day in our show, Keith mentioned it in our tweets about what we had talked about, and BrewSalt, being the savvy social media guys that and gals that I'm sure they are, picked up on that and favorited a tweet for us and started following us, and we started up what I'm going to describe as an intense love affair, and
That's fair.
yeah, I think that's
Fair.
And Patrick, one of the four, I guess, major Megamind heads behind what is BrewSalt, agreed to come on the show for Cinco de Mayo, nonetheless. We're recording on May 5th itself, where we're going to sample BrewSalt live on air. So, Patrick, first of all, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited.
We're really, really excited. The guys have a bunch of questions for you, and we're going to kind of splice this up where we find a little bit about what you do, where you came for with this process, and how it's working out, and then we'll kind of go into our beers as we go. My first question is, how do you go from a lot of these? You mentioned in an article on your website that was in the paper that you noticed some of these old timers dumping salt into their beer, and how do you go from seeing the beer drinkers dumping that salt in there to here's some products on the shelves with the empire now obviously in the making? How did you get from point A to point B, as it were?
I can't really take credit for the company. My wonderful fiance Carrie and her friend Robin are really the masterminds, and I'm just kind of helping them out because I like to drink and I know a little bit about beer. But
Best job ever.
yeah, I know, right? I'm not complaining about it. It's pretty sweet. But Robin actually was visiting her father-in-law, and Robin's husband Jay is the fourth member of our team. He's our financial mastermind and takes care of all that stuff that us beer drinkers can't handle. But they were visiting his father, and she saw him salt his beer. They were like out at dinner at some chain restaurant, and it was just table salt into a crappy beer. And Carrie and Robin kind of came up with this idea, like, why not take some really good flavored sea salt and put it in good beer, basically. You know, kind of take it up to a new level. Craft beer is huge right now. You know, we all love craft beer in this company. Robin's gluten-free, but she loves cider, which is, we came out with a couple of sugars recently for that matched really well with cider. But, you know, it was kind of just a love for, we all love to cook, we're foodies, we love craft beer, and we love local products, so all that just kind of came together into BrewSalt, and we're loving it, and trying to just get our name out there and work as many beer festivals and local shows we can.
Cool.
Well, I don't think you're going to get any bigger than the Pine of No Return show.
I don't think so either. That's why
It's all downhill from here. I mean, today's show may start calling, but you'll always remember your time on the piano show.
I absolutely will. I will never forget it.
Patrick, what's the first flavor that you, when you were coming up together, when you're sitting together and deciding what would work, what wouldn't work, what's the first flavor that you all just knew was a slam dunk?
I think lime was really the first one we came up with. Oh, was it bacon? It was. I was corrected by Carrie, and it was actually bacon. Which.
Wait a minute, you're telling me we have two BrewSalt people that are actually in close proximity?
She is in the other room. You have to at least wave. At least say hi.
Well, see, here's the thing: is Pat is clearly just the figurehead,
and
there's the woman pulling the string.
Yep.
See you.
That's her.
Hey there.
That's
I
it.
want to say up front that the P&R show does not advocate selling or giving beer to dogs. I just want that. I want that right up front.
Brody
I thought we already
can't
did that.
drink. He gets way too hungover.
All right. I kind of had a feeling that lime was the first one, so I asked that question on purpose because I want to lead right into our first beer. Let's do it with the lime, guys.
Yes.
All right,
Here it
let's
is.
do this thing.
So what beer are we recommending for the lime?
So my favorite, since it is Cinco de Mayo, or Cinco de Drinko as I like to call it, I'm saying a cerveza of some sort. Like I was telling you guys earlier, I drank quite a few cervezas this weekend, so I went with the good old American Bud Light, which is a beer that I don't really enjoy, but throwing a little lime salt in it definitely makes it quite a bit better.
Okay, well, my cerveza of choice was actually a Negro Modelo, so it's going to be a little ambery.
Yep.
So I'm going to hold off on that and maybe go with the Pilsner.
Pilsner, yeah. Pilsners work
Okay.
great with lime, for sure.
All right, I got a Victory Prima Pils here.
Nice.
Good choice.
Excellent
All
choice.
right. How about you, Jeremy?
I do have a Negro Modelo, and I also have the makings for a michelada, so I'm going to do a michelada with lime, and also when we get to the habanero, I think.
Nice.
All right.
You're going off the script there, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I can't drink a Negro Modelo and not have a michelada.
All right, Gary, what's it going to be for you?
Corona Extra, which is a beer that I really don't care much for, and it's got a nice skunky aroma to it as I open it up.
Perfect test.
So-
for yourself.
So,
I'm gonna
yeah,
go
we'll see how much improvement we can get.
I'm going to go with a Cerveza Pacifica Clara.
Ooh, nice.
Nice imported
All right.
Mexican brew.
The first question I have, which might be the most important one all night, is this a single serving?
It is not. Those were sample packs that we just made up when we did our first event, the Saratoga Beer Summit. We really want to get our product out to vendors and brewers and friends of ours who work in the beer industry. So we made up those little packets, and that's kind of what we use now when we are traveling or when we're introducing it to new people. So that is not a single serve packet, but like our motto says, we want you to play with your brew. So
Right.
it's kind of like a condiment, you know, you can use as little or as much as you want. But I could kind of show you what I think is a good little shake to put into a beer.
Okay.
I poured mine into a pint, and you know, you don't want to go too crazy because you don't necessarily want a salty beer. You just
Right.
want to add a little bit to that beer. So I just do a couple shakes, and with yours, I would say maybe 2 pinches out of that bag would be perfect.
All right, I got like a
Now,
healthy pinch. I'll start with that.
I don't know if you guys have already put salt in your beer. I'm going to taste my Pacifico first.
Very good.
So I know what I'm getting into before I put the salt in.
I don't need to taste this first.
I have a separate tasting glass for the same reason, right?
Okay.
I got small beer glasses and I'll just do the bottle.
2 pinches. Here we go.
All right,
He's got the official BrewSalt mug there, which you can buy on their store, on their site. I was looking at.
Yes,
today.
if you go to brewsalt.com, we have these available. And if you look closely, I don't know how well you can see that. You can kind of see the salt creating the bubbles in the beer, which is our favorite part.
Yeah. Now, is your fiance tempted to grow the mustache? Is it kind of on the table?
She tried it, but it didn't really work out for her. I pull it off a little better.
Yeah, I understand.
All right, I can tell you that my nice clear Pilsner went all kinds of cloudy on me
Absolutely.
after doing this, but let's...
Pinches and swirls. All right, here we go. Ready? Let's do this.
Cheers.
All right, Prost.
So, what we tell a lot of people, we've been working a lot of beer festivals lately, and a lot of people say, I don't taste it. It's like one of the things that people say, and I either tell them to just wait and maybe you'll get a little more towards the bottom of the glass, or you can always add a little more if you want to get some more lime flavor. I'm definitely getting the hints of lime coming through mine, making it a little bit more enjoyable than just a plain old Bud Light.
Yeah, mine really added to the nose. I mean, I can smell the lime.
Yeah, I get it more in the nose than in the flavor.
Absolutely, and in the lime is actually just lime juice and lime zest, and that's it. And that's what makes such a great flavor and a great smell to it.
And the bubbles, it definitely increased the carbonation. I mean, not the carbonation, but the bubbling added a lot more.
Absolutely. So, that's one of the things why people started salting beer. There's actually 2 reasons. One is to bring the head back on flat beer. Before cans and bottles were around, there was growlers. People would go to the bar. Then they get home from the bar, and their beer would be flat. So they throw a little salt in it. It brings the head back.
Yeah, it does that.
Also, farmers who, during the day when they're done baling hay, they'll throw a little in there to actually reduce some of the carbonation so they can drink it faster. So it's kind of got, it serves 2 purposes, which you wouldn't think would, it would do because they're opposite, but it really does. If you notice with your beer, it brings all the head up and it's great, and then as you get towards the bottom, there is less carbonation going on.
All right. My first impressions, I was about to call shenanigans on you and the whole BrewSalt thing when I looked at the bottom of my glass and realized that I needed to swirl and stir it in a little bit. Because now that I've done that, what I'm getting is not so much of the lime up front, but actually it kind of goes through the beer, and I actually get that lime taste towards the back end of the sip. And it's really nice. It kind of finishes it off.
Actually, I'd agree with you, Rob. But first of all, I just want to point out the little instruction card that came with your beer. So it says
thank you for
shake, swirl, and then gulp.
It does, yes.
So it's very important to follow the instructions, Rob.
Well, I didn't identify with this guy because he had hair. So
okay.
I was looking for
I'm
myself.
with you there, Rob.
Yeah. All right.
But it's interesting. Now I have to admit that the Victory Prima Pils is one of my go-to beers in the summertime. So I'm very familiar with it, and I like it a lot. And I don't know, for me personally anyway, that the lime salt added a lot to it. A little bit of lime flavor, and I'm like Rob. I'm tasting it on the end.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I like that there, but I don't know if maybe I put too much in when I threw my pinch in or not. But the body thickened up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see where that would be a good thing on a inexpensive beer, but it's not. I'm not liking it on my Prima Pils as much.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, still good beer, and the lime is interesting, but it's not.
Well,
I think I'd rather have it without on this beer anyway.
What I would like to add to what I said was, like, when you have those kind of specialty big brewery mixes that the guys did a couple of years ago, like the Miller Chill that has the lime flavoring in it.
This is way better than that.
Well, no. What I'm going to say, hold on, follow me on the journey.
Stuff.
What I was going to say was that when you take a sip of that, all that hits you is just that lime, and you really don't taste any beer. Whereas
it's like a malt beverage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so in this, I will honestly say that the lime kind of goes along with the beer. It accentuates. It's not just overpowering. You still taste the beer, which is why we're drinking beer in the first place.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. It wasn't an overwhelming flavor. It was a note of citrus in the beer, which is nice.
Absolutely.
That is to say you could have an overwhelming flavor if you wanted it and put some more in.
Oh, sure.
I actually did that. I wasn't getting it very much at first. I think I added a little too much, so I had to pour more beer in. But for me, with Corona, it actually, like I said, it added a lot to the nose, which is good, and it actually added a lot of flavor to the beer. Because Corona to me is just kind of, water has about as much flavor as Corona to me. So this actually gave the beer character and made it drinkable.
I think
so. I would say the BrewSalt's greatly improved with the Corona, and I would recommend a BrewSalt with any
That's Corona. A lot coming from Gary. He absolutely loathes Corona.
It made it drinkable.
Nice. That's a lot. All right, so so lime was the first one you knew was a slam dunk. I got to ask you now, as we prepare for our second beer, what flavors did not make your cut?
Did not make our cut.
Well, someone suggested it and you just went, no. Oh, no.
We actually, we haven't really had any of that so far. We've been toying around with a couple different ideas. When we first made the bacon one, I really wanted real bacon in it. I wanted, to grind up bacon and put it in it. And we thought about how we could do that and decided that for right now we're not going to do that. So the bacon is vegan. It just tastes like bacon, and it's awesome. It's great.
Are you looking at Keith right now? You've just crushed a little boy's hopes.
I am a little saddened by the fact that you didn't go through with the real bacon plan.
Well, we're going to. We decided we need to do it. It has to be done.
Awesome.
So, you'll do a vegan and a regular version?
I think we're going to do a meaty one. Yes.
There you go.
Meaty salt.
Nice.
Yes.
Let me volunteer to be on that beta test list.
You got it.
And since I'm the closest to you, I'll even drive up to Saratoga and get it if you need one.
All right, that works.
Wow, focus group.
I like it.
All right, so we're talking about the bacon then. Let's move to the bacon.
Let's move to bacon. Now, bacon goes good with everything, right?
Right.
Of course.
But Pilsners, Ambers, even Stouts and Porters are great with the bacon.
How about rye IPA?
Rye IPA. I would save the IPA maybe for habanero, but it works with IPAs as well.
All right. I got a pale ale.
Pale ale is perfect, yeah.
I've got a Sierra Pale.
Yeah, the maltiness really goes well with it.
I'm
going for the Modelo with this one.
Nice.
Now I should tell you, Patrick, as much of a Achilles heel as Corona is for Gary, IPAs are that for me.
Yes, I heard about
this
that.
This will be one of the true tests for you.
Nice.
I thought we're doing bacon with like more of an ale, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to save the IPA for the habanero rum.
It's good for
I'm on the wrong one. All right, then I'll do the stout.
Stout works good with it. Definitely.
I've got a Achilles Irish stout.
Captain Lawrence here to Kolsch, German.
Oh, yeah.
So.
All right.
I don't know if it's the lime salt still in my mouth, but flavor. But this is Dale's Pale Ale, which I actually haven't had before. It's really good.
Oh, Dale's is really
fantastic.
Good. Yeah, Dale's is real good. I
was actually, along with the Corona Lights I was drinking all weekend, I was mixing in Dale's Pale the whole time. So.
Yeah, and Gary, if you like that, you want to look for the Deviant Ales.
Oh, I've had that.
Oh,
that's fantastic.
All right, I'm going to do a little bit less salt this time.
Fantastic.
There you go.
It's interesting what you said. Is I had a big head on my Modelo, and I sprinkled my bacon salt on top of it, and it knocked the head right down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it collapsed in it like a sinkhole.
And now it's rebuilding it because
Yep.
it mixes in. That's really
Yeah, it goes down to the bottom, and it really brings up all the carbonation.
It's like a science experiment.
It is. One that can get you drunk.
All right,
Hey, that's like the best kind.
I am mixed.
I'm not.
They completely changed the nose of the Modelo.
That's good.
It smells like Modelo and meat.
Meaty Modelo.
Meaty Modelo.
That
Yeah,
sounds actually pretty
Negra
good.
Meat
Wow.
Dello.
When
All
we
right.
first got the bacon, I was really convinced that like stouts and porters were the best for it, and then we went to the bar and our friend got a Stella Artois and we put it in there, and I could not believe how well it went together with Stella. It was
That was a good one.
And a Bloody Mary rimmed with the bacon salt is about the best thing you can have.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That,
oh, see,
that
now
sounds
good.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But that's not beer. But that sounds good.
It's
But-
not beer, but yes, it is delicious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
changes
is-
the nose on this and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a different beer entirely now. Negra Modelo with bacon salt is it's you should rename it because it's no longer Modelo.
The bacon is it's probably our most intense flavor.
It's delicious. It's really fantastic in the Modelo.
It's doing very.
So it's very sweet, salty, bacony. It really balances out really well.
It does.
That's a
It's
good one.
doing interesting things to the Sierra Pale. There's definite bacon in the nose of the beer, a little smoky and sweet, but it seems to really accentuate the hop bitterness.
Mm-hmm.
Almost the malty flavors to me have really receded into the background, and the bitterness is right up front, which I like.
Nice. I love hearing everyone's, people's different takes on it and the notes that they get and the different flavors that come out from the salt is really something that we love hearing about.
Yeah, I'm with Jeremy on that one because Dale's it's hoppy. It's a hoppy for a pale ale, but
Yeah.
it's a malty. It's kind of like almost as sweet when I had it the first time, but yeah, it's definitely got a bitter bite on the back end, and the nose just has a subtle hint of bacon. I definitely did a lot less salt than I did in the Corona, but Dale's needs a lot less than Corona. But yeah, this certainly it changed the character, but it still packs a lot of flavor.
Okay, so I am
Yeah.
not the biggest fan of stouts either, but I will agree again with the guys in that the bacon totally changed what I was drinking. For me, what I don't like about stouts is the coffee. I'm not a big fan of the coffee flavor.
Pat, what you need to understand is Rob secretly doesn't actually like beer.
He's doing an alright job pretending then.
he's our control on the panel. Sorry, Rob.
What I like to say is I ground you. I bring you.
that's right.
I don't want to let you fly too far, butterfly. But the coffee is what I really don't care for in a stout, and the bacon changed it in such a way that smoke that I got and just that little hint of savory just made it literally like you guys have been saying an entirely different drink, and it's very very tasty.
What was the stout you had? I didn't. Sorry.
Killian's Irish Stout. So yeah, it was really good, and in a sense, it for me kind of knocked out a little bit of the thickness, which was a nice thing for me. So yeah, good.
Nice.
Because it actually made the Modelo thicker.
And I will tell you that of the 4 beers that you sent, the bacon was the one I was most concerned about. I'm like,
Yeah?
I don't know if that's going to work for a beer.
Yeah.
That's
A lot of people
definitely
like
my favorite.
Yeah, well, we find when we're doing these events, people are just like bacon. Everybody is all about it. And a lot of people are like, I don't know, bacon in my beer. I'm like, hey, if it's not for you, it's not for you, but give it a try. And a lot of people are very surprised about how well it can bring out those notes in the beers.
Absolutely. Interesting. All right.
It almost takes the edge off the salt itself, because bacon and being so naturally salty.
Yeah, the salt works with the bacon.
Yeah, it just blends so well.
You know what also is going to be nice about the salt is that, having salty foods makes you thirsty. So after having salty beers, you're just going to be thirsty.
It
so
does.
You want to have another beer.
It's a self-perpetuating cycle. It never ends. Guys,
that's excellent.
You've come up with what we call a circular business model. Ingenious.
Now I just need to start brewing my own beer and salting it, and then I'll be a millionaire.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because one of my other questions for you was, let's see, if you were going to start getting into microbrews, and if you haven't already, and kind of package your salts together with the brews.
I would love to do that. I've worked in many different fields in my life so far, and brewing beer and working in the beer industry is always something I've always wanted to do. One of my college roommates and I have made a couple home brews. And it's not something I do here at my house, but I have this awesome shed in my backyard that would be perfect for it. So I think that should be one of my goals within the next year, is to really start focusing on making some microbrews for sure.
That's totally apropos, because it just, to me, microbrews, they should be made in sheds.
They should be.
Or like rundown barns, or
really old grocery store.
Yeah, like root cellars.
Yeah.
Or motorhomes that you park in the desert.
Exactly. Guys, did you have? I didn't want to monopolize all the questions. Do you have any on your tip of your tongue you wanted to ask?
No, I'm good with Monopoly.
Okay, so before we get to the next one, which I think we're going to try the habanero.
Yeah.
Is this the first kind of from the ground up business for the four of you?
For myself, absolutely. Robin is a marketing genius, and she has been a part of many different startup companies and has helped them succeed very well. So she's really like, I got to give her a lot of credit for getting this company to where it is right now, because she definitely knows what she's doing.
How long has it been, by the way, since you started?
We officially launched to the public in February.
Okay. Oh, so you guys are brand new.
Yeah, we are brand
new.
Sure.
Well, good SEO that I was able to find you guys that fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
The miracle of social media. What has it's been about 3 months then. So what surprised you most along the way? Like what were you least prepared for in starting a business?
I'd say the amount of positive feedback we've gotten from the craft beer community has been awesome. I was afraid that a lot of people who enjoy craft beer were gonna shake their heads at this, like it was, you're ruining my beer, and we've really gotten a lot of positive feedback, especially at our first event we did during Beer Week. Everyone was super nice to us, and we were selling product, and So the amount of support we've gotten from friends and family and local people has definitely been outstanding.
That's awesome.
Honestly, that is actually one of my concerns coming into this is, we kind of specialize on finding the best of the best of craft beers, and at least trying them all, and so that maybe people watching don't have to. But except for Rob. Yeah. But I kind of wondered, would you, we just posted on our website earlier this week the 50 best beers in the world as rated by Rate Beer, and one of our favorites, well, everybody except Rob's favorite, is number 2 on the list, which is Pliny the Elder. Would you salt, a really great beer like that, or is that something that you leave alone?
Because I'm wearing this sweatshirt right here.
Right, I understand.
I'd probably salt it, but no.
You would be salted.
Salt everything!
Yeah, salt is a natural enhancer. When I first did this, I was like, I don't know. There's some of those beers that you just don't touch.
Exactly where I'm going.
They're made to taste the way they are in their glass, and it's cool. But when I get down towards the end, maybe the last couple sips, just to see what it's going to be like and toy around with different flavors, I've been trying to salt as many beers as I can just to see what works.
That's a good idea.
And a lot of people ask like what does it do? And it does bring out a lot of the flavors in the beer. Or you can mask a shitty beer like Bud Light if you don't want to drink that, and that's all you got around. We have a couple of my buddies. One only drinks Coors Light. He's a tequila guy, so when he drinks beer, he drinks Coors Light. And one of our other friends goes over there, and he's always dreading it because he doesn't want to drink that. And if he forgets beer, that's what he's stuck with. He brings habanero salt with him everywhere and puts it in, and he's like, I actually like Coors Light now with the habanero.
Well, see, I definitely see the market in this for improving the, you go out to a restaurant and you're offered the same 4 mass-produced choices of beer. This is a great thing to have in your pocket to really kick those up and make them something a little more palatable. It's a different animal when you're dealing with a $12 a bottle super premium craft brew.
Yeah. Yep.
But you're saying that even those can be enhanced somewhat by the
I think so. With the right pairing of salt in the beer, I think it can bring out maybe some flavors you've never noticed in the beer before, or just make those flavors that you love so much come out a little more.
I will say this about Pliny the Elder.
Strap in, folks.
I had it for my first time this past year at a Christmas party, and I gotta say it was good. But it's kind of like Heady Topper. Like, Heady Topper is great, but I don't know. I could list some other beers that are way better.
Yeah, I will
if
say.
you're not a fan of the IPAs, those are not your beers for sure.
Yeah, I will say this about Pliny the Elder. BrewSalt cannot hurt.
Yes.
It will not hurt it.
I like that.
Rob may be your biggest fan.
The first rule of BrewSalt. First rule of BrewSalt should be first do no harm. It's like the doctor's Hippocratic oath. Okay, so since we've been talking so much about the habanero, let's do the habanero.
Let's do it.
I'm excited about this one because I'm down here in Texas where we're all about the habanero. And so this one's okay to do with a pale ale, right?
Yeah. The habanero really, I think it goes it's the most versatile salt because it really can go with everything. Well, I'll let you guys taste, and hopefully you're going to say what I was just going to say.
I thought it was the IPA one, so I have a rye IPA from Sierra Nevada.
Nice.
I had a lot of this. Well, I had a 6-pack, and I've had a few of those in the 6-pack, so I have a good basis for comparison.
I'm actually trying a new IPA for us tonight. So I'm going to do this. So I'll do this a little bit in the tasting glass just to see, and then I'll see if it improves it. But I've got Sam Adams Rebel IPA, which is supposedly their West Coast style IPA. So we're going to see how this matches up to the Pliny.
Does that mean it's like they're more like Ohio flavored IPA?
I guess, yeah. For Sam Adams, West Coast is still this side of the Mississippi, isn't it?
Sure.
I've got a Racer 5, which is one of my favorite IPAs.
Oh, you can't go wrong
nice.
with Racer 5.
I'm jealous.
See, that's exactly Jeremy, I'm glad you did that because that's exactly the type of beer I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Racer 5 is such a great beer on its own. I would be hesitant to salt it, but I'm glad you're going to take the bullet here and see what happens.
Take one for the team.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so Robin mentions, one of the BrewSalt folks mentions in the Saratogian article. Did I say that right, or is it the Saratogian?
Saratogian.
Hey, first try. All right.
Yeah, you got it.
She mentions that adding the salt, as you guys mentioned earlier, removes some of the carbonation and reduces the bitterness, which is something typically found in the pale ales. And I will just say up front, you guys may end up being my biggest hero.
Right.
So what pale do you have, Rob?
I have a Dundee.
Dundee Pale.
Dundee
And Patrick, what are you drinking with this?
That's a very pale pale.
I'm doing one of Carrie and I's favorite breweries of all time, the Saranac Legacy IPA. That's
I don't know Saranac very well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just killed a 4-pack of cans of those this last week.
This is one of the best beers I think they've ever made. It's great.
Yeah.
It's
I
her
just killed a
hometown,
bag of
so you'd like to
habanero
support them.
I would agree. In fact, that was one of the beers after I had that 6-pack. I said I'm going to have to pack off and send to Rob, Gary, and Jeremy
Yeah.
because we typically do a beer exchange so that we can keep trying the same beers.
And as an aside, I believe that
That's one of the ones that's going in the next pack for me.
Saranac makes a damn good root beer too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Damn good root beer.
They do.
So, I just
Okay,
spilled
well, this
habanero
is
over
You're
myself.
exactly right about the carbonation. It's mine. It's almost totally gone.
and this
And-
is a really pleasant surprise.
I think we should nickname it the sneaky salt because it kind of, as you guys are going to see, it's not as prevalent right when you first take a sip, but it kind of creeps up and gives you a nice little kick.
All right, here we go. Prost, habanero.
Wow. So this is a beer. 3 weeks ago, before we discovered your product, I would never have put salt in my beer, and absolutely would have probably never talked to anyone who put salt in this particular.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And the habanero flavor in the Racer 5 is fantastic. This is really good. That little spice, the little burning on my lips as I drink it. This is great.
That's
Yeah.
intentional?
Especially with those West Coast style IPAs with the citrus hops, I just think it's perfect with it.
Man, this makes me want to brew like a jalapeno or a habanero IPA.
Yeah.
This is fantastic combination.
Well, I have to say, trying the Rebel IPA for the first time, plain, they got the hops right, but it still has the body of a Sam Adams.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an interesting brew. A little maybe easier to drink, but definitely lacking that rich buttery middle that I like on my West Coast IPAs. And then adding the habanero salt is exactly what Jeremy said. It's a different beer entirely, and it's freaking delicious.
Yeah, that's wow.
Oh,
Amazing.
habanero salt, man!
I did not expect this. I came
Yeah,
in
gonna be ordering a
really
shaker of this.
thinking this is not going to be something I want to do, but you convinced me otherwise. Good job.
Nice. We like to hear that.
Gary, what do you think, Gary?
I think my office is going to smell like habanero for a while. Because I spilled my salt. No,
Oh,
I-
no.
Well,
This is
that's
what
what happens
happens
when you
when
drink
you're
like
thirsty for
fruit
an hour.
beers, right? Ruthless Rye is a different kind of IPA because it's a rye IPA, and it's a seasonal from Sierra Nevada, and it's good. I really like it. It's solid. I get it every year. The habanero for me is all in the heat. The flavor of the beer hasn't changed dramatically, but it's got a kick to it now.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Patrick.
Yeah, it's I would say it's an enhancer. I don't think it's as dramatic as what Keith is getting or what Jeremy's is getting in this
Well, I think-
particular beer.
I think it probably depends on the beer, but
Yeah, because I think this is more the rye. But man, after I drink it, about like a 3 count, and I start to get that heat kind of coming up from the back of my throat,
absolutely.
which is not what you expect from an IPA.
Which makes you
especially
reach for the
rye.
beer again, which starts the whole process over again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, it's making me reach for the daily.
exactly.
Yeah. So you were right with the carbonation. I noticed that right off the bat. I didn't have to taste it to tell. And so the real kick, the real test for me was going to be in that bitterness of those hops. And God damn it, if the salt did not cover up the hops and change it into something entirely different.
Cover up
And
the hops.
really,
That's
really
something you
tasty.
want to put that in your tagline, Pat.
Let me say.
Cover up the hops.
I don't think so.
All right, take 2. The hops were really enhanced to such a way that, to me, a person who doesn't enjoy hops as much as the next person, or the next 3 people in this case, it makes it something really, for me, palatable. And the kick was delicious, and it was awesome. And I have never tried a michelada because that for some reason doesn't appeal to me. But I would try it with this. This would make a great mixture in that beer, tomato sauce tomato juice. I haven't drank 3 beers at all.
A beer and spaghetti mixture.
Habanero salt.
I
really,
simply want to put beer in my spaghetti sauce.
I was
That's
pleasantly
an Italian
surprised.
thing, right?
Yeah, right. I was pleasantly surprised as well. Absolutely delicious with a pale ale, and again, that's for me, that's saying something. So really good.
Well, yeah,
Thank you, guys.
That's a great one. The
Mhm.
habanero.
Thank you.
That's
And
my
since it
favorite.
is Cinco de Mayo, I got to share. Though it's not beer, I got to share a couple of my new favorite cocktail recipes. One being a margarita with the habanero rim.
Oh, holy
then
cow, that's probably awesome.
Carrie came up with this great idea one night to cut limes in half and scoop the guts out of the lime and use the shell as a shot glass. So we were dipping the lime shell narrow, filling it with tequila and doing shots, and
That's
was
awesome.
phenomenal.
And I do believe there is a tweet of that on your stream, right?
There is.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think that was just tweeted. That looks really interesting. So head over to the BrewSalt Twitter account if you want to see that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and speaking of social media, you guys have, if you guys check their website, again, which is brewsalt.com, and go to the press and reviews section, they've got a lot of both traditional and social media talking about their beer. I mean, obviously that they've talked with some newspapers and they've been on some of the morning shows locally, and they've been tweeting, and I'm assuming you guys probably have a Facebook page,
We
or
do.
at least you mention it on your own, yeah?
Absolutely.
Do you find that one better fits kind of where we are today as a technological society or as a social society? Do you find social media working better for you? Traditional? It's too early to tell. What have you found so far?
You know, I think the beauty of social media is it really gets you out there and it gets a lot of followers quickly, which is why I think it's great. Twitter has been awesome to us, Facebook as well, but you know, the local media has been great too. We were in the Saratogian, we were in Saratoga Today, all over Albany, which is a great website as well. You know, and a couple others that everybody's been so cool to us, and we really are appreciative of it. And I think Twitter and Facebook have really done us a lot, to be honest.
It's great to get stuff out there instantaneously. I also saw that last Friday, was it Carrie was honorary bartender at a local pub?
It was myself last Thursday.
Okay.
I was behind the bar promoting BrewSalt, and it's a contest in Saratoga right now for guest bartenders, and the winner gets $1,000. So
hey.
our whole softball team came out after the game, and a lot of our friends, and it was a really good time.
Very, very cool. All right, so I have intentionally saved the last salt.
Before we jump into that, I'm curious about, Patrick, how did you like the habanero in the Saranac IPA?
I think it's great. This Legacy IPA is, it's a pretty hopped up beer that they made, and it's great. You know, the hops and the heat go perfect together, I think.
The Saranac is the closest thing, maybe beside, well, yeah, it's kind of the closest thing to a Pliny that I found in the local area.
Oh, so it's that hoppy.
So it's just really, it's really up there hoppy wise. It's not quite the body of the Pliny, but it's pretty close. It's really good. Next closest thing is probably, in my opinion, is the Nugget Nectar, which is an amber. So that kind of switches styles on you. But it's a really good brew, and I kind of want to try it with the habanero.
It is delicious. It's delicious.
Unfortunately, I finished my last half. Now I'm gonna have to go buy more.
All right, so I was gonna say I was saving the last of the 4 salts intentionally. Aside from being, obviously a pretty major chocolate lover, my beer of choice for the chocolate BrewSalt is one of my personal favorites, the Nutcastle Brown Ale. And
Newcastle, bro. Newcastle.
You know what? 3 beers in, and I'm feeling good.
It is a Nutcastle.
The Newcastle Brown Ale. It actually is one of my favorites, and I picked one for a beer that I knew I would enjoy. So we're going to go to the chocolate now, and as the guys get their beers together to tell you what they got. In this, not only do we have the cocoa powder for that chocolate taste, but you guys put monk fruit extract. What led you to do that?
Carrie's the chef mastermind here, and she just experimented with a couple different things, and the monk fruit really worked to bring that flavor together.
I've never knowingly had monk fruit.
I don't think any guy really has. It's I think it's a chick thing, but
fruit.
It works.
I've had monk fruit.
So
of course you have, Rob.
Thank you.
So Pat, you're not seeing the chat room, are you?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that's good.
Oh no! I'm sorry, I can't. No.
No, that's probably good.
Wait, what?
You said salt was an enhancer. I was asking if it was a male enhancer.
Oh.
Sure.
I thought you were saying. Whatever works for you.
We'll
right, so what do you guys
about those findings?
I think alcohol is though, so brew salts really would be.
Wow, Gary. All right. If I wish I had a screeching sound effect. What beers have you guys chosen for your chocolate salts? Let's start with Keith.
I've got a classic. I've got the Sierra Nevada stout. Great overall stout. Really can't go wrong. I figured it would be a good baseline to test with the chocolate.
Can you wash this for me?
All right. How about you, Jeremy?
I have got a Young's Double Chocolate Stout. I wanted an Anderson Valley Oatmeal, but I couldn't find it, so I went with the Young's Double Chocolate, figuring chocolate on chocolate can't be bad.
No.
That'll be interesting.
Absolutely right.
That can overpower and even be picked up in the double chocolate. That is a big chocolate stout if you've never had it.
Yeah.
It may need a little extra salt in that one, but I'll give it a try.
Wow.
All right. Gary.
So I'm having a Black Butte Porter from Deschutes Brewing, which to me is
that's a good
one of the best classic porters that you can find, and it's a beer that I've had my fair share of, so I know what it is. And I put the beer in the bottom of the glass and then poured the beer in, and it turned into the look of a Guinness when you pour it.
Yep, it does. Yeah.
It was really interesting. So. I'm excited to see what it tastes like with the BrewSalt. So Black Butte Porter, I mean, if you like porters and you've never had this, you're missing out. And if you don't like porters, you should have it and try it. So I'm very excited to hear or to taste it.
All right, so Patrick, you're one of the Saratoga article also mentions that you're the resident beer snob. So I know you know the exact right beer to pair with the chocolate. What do you have?
I do. I went for it's a beer I've never had, but I've had their other stuff and it's great. It's a Midnight Sun Brewing Company out of Alaska.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Secondhand Smoke Stout. I just took a sip of it and it's pretty phenomenal. So I think the chocolate's going to go well with it, and I might even do chocolate at first and then throw a little habanero in there towards the end.
There you go.
Really switch it up.
Dangerous chemistry going on there.
Definitely.
I have an interesting phenomenon happening here. With every other beer, when I threw the salt in on the head, it dissipated the head. And on,
This
on
one's
my
awesome
stout,
to
it made the head even bigger, and so now all my salt's sitting on top. I'm having to stir it
I'm
in.
seeing the same thing there. And I'm wondering if that's the salt or if the cocoa powder comes off the salt and floats on top.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the salt's down.
I'm thinking the cocoa powder, yeah.
I think that's what it is. The chocolate is definitely the one that emulsifies the least. And I think it is that, since we use all natural ingredients, I think that is, just the powder kind of coming off of there.
Huh.
Wow, that really changes the head on the beer.
Look at mine. I poured it. Look at that.
Yeah, exactly. I've got the monster head on this thing now too.
It's like a root beer float head.
Yeah. Which, when you're talking chocolate, is not necessarily a bad thing. So. Bottoms up.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't wait. Sorry. I'll go first then, since all you were drinking. So again, I'm glad I say this one for last because I was right. Hands down, my favorite so far. Because I know you have a couple of new flavors that you're debuting, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I'm a big fan of not Newcastle, but Newcastle Brown Ale, and it literally turned the beer, which I already like. And if you know Newcastle, first of all, you would pronounce it correctly, and second of all, you try to, as best you can, get it draft and not out of the bottle, because the bottles are clear, and so because it's coming over from England, it tends to skunk. A lot of them do, and it's not universally true, but it's you're not surprised when you get a skunky one. I will say that the chocolate, it's cocoa, so it's definitely a darker chocolate flavor. It turned it almost like into a beer hot chocolate if it weren't hot. If that makes sense. It's it's a warming kind of a taste to me. It's really it rounds. Now a brown ale already has kind of a rounded flavor to it, but if anything, the chocolate just rounds it for me even more, and it's just, I don't know, coated in chocolatey goodness. It's fantastic. My favorite so far.
Nice. We like to hear that.
Yeah, for sure.
So on this Young's double chocolate, I think I oversalted it at first.
Scared of the double chocolate.
Well, I didn't. I put a little bit of beer in. Because I wanted to experiment a little, and it was a little overwhelming. So I added some more beer to it, and that's mellowed it out quite a bit. It is detectable.
It's a skill you have to kind of dial in a little bit.
It is. Salting your beer is no easy task.
Leave it to the professionals, right?
Yeah, I'll attest to that.
Whereas in the Sierra Nevada, it made it more bitter. I think it's actually pulled a little of the bitterness out of this beer, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That's good. I'm going to add some habanero, though.
Yes! I like it.
Because you can't go wrong.
One of the other the things that BrewSalt is good with is coffee as well. And the chocolate salt in a coffee or a latte, really, that's where it takes care, dissipates a lot of the bitterness is when you add it to.
Yeah. Allow me to help you out with your business model, because I know a lot of people do this. You may also want to put on there that this would be really good on ice cream, because I know a lot of people salt their ice cream.
It's delicious.
Interesting.
And I've done the bacon salt on ice cream, and it's as good as it sounds.
Yeah. I would think that some of the chocolate salt on just like a plain vanilla would be just delicious.
Yep, absolutely. And we found we went to Tap New York. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that craft beer festival, but it's at Thunder Mountain in the Catskills, and a lot of brewers were actually coming up to us and buying salt to cook with.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. I mean, I put the habanero on my eggs in the morning, the bacon on my eggs, the bacon on a steak or on burgers when we're cooking them. And the lime goes great with seafood. We cook a lot of scallops and shrimp.
Absolutely. Very good. Cool. So we didn't get to Gary. Gary, what did you think of yours?
So as I said, Black Butte Porter, one of the best, and this just brings out the malty flavors and the smoky flavors in this beer. I I mean, it's a porter, so it has. Oh, it's a little of that anyway. But in the chocolate, man, it almost gives it sort of that imperial porter flavor without being an imperial porter. It's a really, really good combination. It is probably the best combination it is definitely the best combination I've had tonight of the salt and the beer.
Nice.
Of course, after 3 beers, you kind of get to that point. But
yeah, it'd be interesting to try this tomorrow in reverse order, just to make sure we still like.
I have I bought a 6-pack of this on the way home to have with the show tonight, and I will use the rest of the chocolate salt in other beers tomorrow when things are a little more clear. But
Definitely.
right now, this is excellent. This is an excellent combination. It really, really brings out the complexities of this particular porter, and with just a hint of chocolate, it's not overpowering. Maybe it's the amount of salt I had, but to me, it's really pulling out the smoke flavor in this porter.
Yeah, and the same with mine, Gary. It's doing the same in this smoked stout. It's tasting like a campfire over here for me, but it's good.
Yeah.
I'm a Scotch drinker, and I like that smokiness, so it's great.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
This is one. If you can get the black pea porter and the chocolate salt, you've got to try it. It's worth it.
Well, I'll tell you, having the Sierra Nevada stout, which you guys I'm sure on the West Coast are familiar with, a good basic starter level kind of stout, good baseline. Adding just a pinch of the chocolate salt to this has turned it into a wonderful sipping dessert beer. It punched up the body and it made it a little sweet and a little decadent, and it's really good. And interestingly enough, I still have the burning feeling on my lips from the habanero.
So it's almost as if you put it in.
It's almost as if I have a little habanero in with it too, which I can only imagine at this point would be amazing. I think that's the killer combination. You should probably market a chocolate habanero mix.
Yeah, I'm still getting a little bit of that too.
Because that would really be awesome.
Yeah, and I'm getting the same. I added some habanero to the Youngs and the chocolate salt, and that's much better than the chocolate by itself. But I'm a spicy guy.
Yeah, you like the spices.
Yeah, that's really nice.
I can actually see a little bit of habanero BrewSalt in your hot cocoa.
Yes.
Something to just make your knees all go all woggly.
The potential of these salts is just
and on the pairing sheet that the BrewSalt folks gave us, it not only talks about the beers, obviously, that you can try with it, but also the liquors you can try, the mixed drinks you can try, martinis and Bloody Marys, and they have even a cooking column. Meats, eggs, popcorn. It would be awesome on
popcorn.
Habanero popcorn is my new favorite snack in this house.
I know what I'm having for dinner.
Yeah.
And habanero also a favorite on on veggies, which I can obviously see, and nuts. Really good. And the chocolate baking and sweet treats. Obviously that's a good one. And and I would think that the bacon on the fries is probably good. The habanero on fries would be really good.
Yep.
And some really, really good options, man. You did good.
I want to say we kind of kicked around in our own chat room last week. Whether or not we were going to go light on you guys, and we decided we weren't. We really were going to give you honest opinions so that we could kind of maintain our own credibility, but also just I thought it would make a better show. But it might feel like we're gushing, but I tell you, I was not impressed so much with the lime as my first one, at least with my pairing. But every one after this has been even better than the one before it. So it's really, this is something you guys got to try. I mean, come on, this is
this is a really interesting product.
This is worth taking with you, even to those high-end craft beers. It certainly will make having a little packet of this in your pocket at your next restaurant or bar that just serves the mass-produced stuff can only help you. But taking it with you to the craft beer stuff is not necessarily a bad idea. And I was coming from the other side of this when I started, so Good on you, BrewSalt. I am
As
impressed.
their slogan says, it's like ketchup for beer. Now, I personally will not advocate. I do not advocate you squirting
That
ketchup in
slogan
your
turns
beer.
me right off.
I
have
don't
to admit.
think that that's probably a good option for you to
No.
squirt ketchup in beer. But
I know
this
what you're
is your
going
option.
for when you say that, but it kind of throws me off, and says I don't want to put ketchup in my really
No
good
way.
craft beer.
It's funny. It's funny
But-
that that's on our pairing cards too, because I'm a big dude and I love eating. And there's one thing I will not eat, and it's ketchup. I despise it.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Maybe you should add some brew salts to it, and it might taste better.
Yeah.
Maybe I might
Actually,
try.
little habanero salt in your ketchup might be
All right.
the thing you
Yeah,
need.
That was something at our first event. Somebody said that, so we wanted to use that just so people see it's kind of like a condiment. But our real true slogan is "Play with your brew." That's what we
Yeah.
want everybody to do.
Yeah, and it's actually worth doing.
Yeah.
It
All right,
is.
now we get. I can't let this go without mentioning. I know we're at about an hour, and we want to wrap up our time here. But I know you guys just announced on Saturday on your website that you have 2 new flavors.
We do.
Rather than steal your thunder, why don't you tell us what they are?
Definitely. So, like I said before, Robin, one of our original, founders of the company, is gluten-free, and she loves cider. And she kind of leaves it to us to tell her how all these great beers taste with the salts. So Carrie and her kind of came up with a couple sugars that pair very well with ciders and cocktails, mojitos and martinis. The first being ginger apple pie, which
God, I'm in heaven.
or we were doing them with I don't know if you guys drink Fireball whiskey. It's cinnamon.
Yes.
I have had my experiences. I've had many a long night with Fireball whiskey, my friend.
Yes.
That's
Fireball whiskey and ginger apple pie sugar is a match made in heaven right there.
Oh my god.
That sounds so dangerous.
And then the other one is basil sugar and
Basil sugar.
Oh, with like a strawberry mojito. It's
I was thinking mojito on that. Yeah.
So, is that one actually? It's a sugar base. It's not a salt.
correct. Yes. Yeah. So we did those as our BrewSalt sweet line, we call it.
So they're both sugars.
They're both sugars. Yep.
Sweet.
Yep.
Very
And we
nice.
sell them in these nice handy tins, which I'm looking around for.
I saw your tins that they're made specially for salting. If you pardon the salting the glass.
Yeah,
sugar in the glass.
exactly. And we did that for people. I've bartended for many years, and I know how to rim a glass. But we made it for people who are not familiar with that, so they can literally open the container and wet their rim and dip it in.
Awesome.
Now, see,
That's
a
a great
slogan.
There you go.
Slogan.
Open your rim and dip it in. There you go.
That's a
It
slogan.
writes itself. There it is.
I'm trying
You know
to
what,
get
this is my Christmas shopping all done.
I know, right?
It's great.
Okay, so I'm going to open up the self-promotion floodgates for you. Where do we find BrewSalts? Where can we
BrewSalt
find
right
them?
now is on, of course, BrewSalt.com. Also Amazon.com.
Oh, all right, great.
We are our commercial kitchen that we use to make our salts is Zest in Ballston Spa, just out of Saratoga Springs. It's a fantastic catering company. They do amazing paleo stuff there. All their food is great. We sell our product in there. This week we are going to start a retail location at Saratoga Spice Company on Broadway in Saratoga.
Okay.
And we are doing an event there actually this Saturday where we're going to pair with a couple different food and beer items. And we are working on a couple different spots, but Nanola is a bar in Malta, just down the road from here. They have all of our salts, as well as The Ruck in Troy, New York, which you guys all need to go to because it's absolutely phenomenal.
Very cool. And I know she got your Twitter, I'm assuming, is @BrewSalt.
It is @BrewSalt, all one word. Our Facebook is BrewSalt. Just search us on there. We're on Google Plus. We're on Instagram. All those great things. We're also I forgot to mention the great the Stadium Cafe on Broadway in Saratoga. We're also there. They make all their Bloody Marys with our bacon salt, and they love us, and we love them.
And folks out there can tweet them or message them on Facebook, especially if you put the hashtag #PlayWithYourBrew.
Play with your brew, yes. Please put it on there, and we encourage everybody to kind of just leave us feedback and recipes on what they're doing with their salt, because we love to hear it. And Carrie and Robin are always putting up new stuff on there for you to try. So
yeah,
check it out. I usually do all the. Feel free to message me. Check out our website.
Keith's got a little premature
I got
butt pressing. Yeah, he's had 4 beers too. Also on the store, I saw they had some gear, some T-shirts. I actually really like the pint glasses. I might buy those for myself. And some really cool stuff. I love, by the way, not to kiss your ass any more than I've done for the last hour, but I have to say I do love the logo. Specifically, the brew's got that. It's got that old-timey kind of look to it, which is really cool.
We're guessing you were the model for that.
Yeah, pretty much. I did this whole thing as a joke, and we went on this cruise, and it was a music-themed cruise, and Carrie's like, just keep it, and 2 years later, I still have the thing going on.
There you go. Hey, it's not going to hurt business any.
No, not.
All right, Patrick, we want to thank you, Patrick McGowan from BrewSalt.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed having you on the show. It's a great product, and look forward to trying it on just an infinite number of beers. Patrick, thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. This was a lot of fun. I love it. The show was awesome.
Hey, thanks, man.
Truly surprised by how good this product is. I really wanted to
Nice.
to say how ridiculous it is to be salting like high-end craft beers, but it's not a joke. You guys got to try it.
We would be remiss. Oh, go ahead.
All links will be on pnrshow.com if you missed them earlier.
Right. We're also at PNR Show on the Twitters. We've got always breaking for Gary at Jeremy Brooks for Jeremy. Keith is at Wolfman K. I am at RebRob, REBROB, and of course all of us are at PNR Show. Thanks guys for a fantastic show.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for the Popsy Boggarts for the YouTube music and Stu Venable. Click at iTunes and at PopsyBoggarts.com. Next week we'll get back into our Texas brews. Maybe we'll sprinkle a little salt on those as well. Having fun drinking beer.
I'll take a strong stout of a stride. My friend